Hey guys, today I wanted to put together a video explaining some ninja techniques and terminology that goes along with them. The first technique I want to go over is a fender grab. A fender grab is when you hook the back of your bike onto the edge of an object, and you can see in this video I'm flipping into a fender grab because that's usually the easiest way of doing it. You flip and you land the back of your bike onto an edge so that the edge is in between the fender of your bike and the back wheel of your bike. As you can see here, landing directly on the edge hooks your bike onto that edge, allowing you to hold gas to propel your bike forward to land on the platform. You do not always have to do a front flip into a fender grab. At times you do not have the room to do a front flip, in which case you can do what I call as an underflip, which is basically half of a back flip to get into the fender grab position and hook the edge of the obstacle you're trying to get up. So there's a lot of different situations for a fender grab, but is primarily used when you're trying to get over a gap that might not be achievable onto your front wheel or the front of your bike, and so you have to do a front flip and then hook the back of your bike onto that edge to get over a gap or a distance that might not be achievable in other ways. A Spider-Man is the next ninja technique where you're in the position where your front wheel is up on top of a object, but your back wheel is on the side of it. As you can see in this video, it's usually commonly on the edge of like a wall or a box or something like that. Now there are two ways of doing this. You could either slow climb or do a burst of speed to push your rider and fling your rider up onto the top of that box. Now the best way of doing this is once you get to this position where your front wheel is halfway on the edge of the box and halfway off, that is when you want to start your throttle, either to drive really slowly up it or to do a burst of speed and get onto your front wheel. The next technique is a slide. A slide actually is not a ninja technique, but a speedrunning technique. It is used by speedrunners to maintain momentum and speed, obviously, to get past obstacles, typically curved ramps, or any obstacle that will reduce a rider's speed and momentum. So as you can see from this curved ramp, if you just ride up it with both wheels on the ground and ride into it like you normally would, you're gonna go high up into the air, but you're not going to go very far. A slide is a technique of getting onto your back wheel, riding into a ramp on your back wheel, and leaning forward as you go up that ramp and go off the lip or the edge of that ramp. By doing that, you're leaning forward off the edge of the ramp and propelling your rider, pushing his momentum kind of over that edge so that you jump a lot farther and go a lot faster through obstacles that might slow you down. To best explain the brake bounce technique, first you need to kind of understand what bouncing in trials is. Bouncing is when you bounce off your back wheel. So in other words, land on your back wheel on a platform and immediately bunny hop. What that creates is a bounce off of your back wheel, and it propels you forward, allowing you to jump much farther distances and continues your speed as well. A brake bounce is still getting the momentum from the bounce as far as going, bouncing off your back wheel and going upwards, but you're not going as far. So you don't want to continue your momentum forward, you just want to continue your momentum upward. And how to do that is just like when you're going to bounce on your back wheel, right before you hit the platform or right as you're hitting the platform on your back wheel, you want to tap brake. And this will slow down your momentum forward but still give you the bounce to get height. This is used when you don't necessarily want to jump a long distance, but you want to jump over a high bomb. Sometimes there are walls that are too steep to climb normally. You can't slow climb them by going up to the wall and then using throttle very slowly to climb up them. You can't You can't endo into climbing them by being on your front wheel and then trying to ride up the wall really fast. Sometimes it's just too steep to use normal techniques, so you have to use a technique called brake climbing. And brake climbing is the ability to, uh, in a way, a lot like brake bouncing, is a technique that allows you to shift your momentum from going forward to going upward, or allowing you to propel your bike upwards and stick to a slanted wall. How to achieve this technique is um, riding onto your back wheel very slowly into a wall or a very steep climb, and right as you get to that climb, you tap brake, press forward, and then slowly put on the throttle or the gas to climb up that wall. It's very technical in the timing of it, but essentially the brake right before you try to climb a wall will help propel your rider and help propel your momentum upwards and stick to that steep surface or that wall. As you can see in the video, it's not possible to just ride up the first platform as fast as I can and make it to the second platform. I'm also unable to bunny hop off the very top of the first platform to the second platform. It's doable actually, but it's very difficult. And a way to make this easier, to be able to jump this gap a lot easier, is using a technique called the squishy squashy, or more commonly known as the squishy. And what the squishy does, what the technique of it is, it's essentially it's used for clearing gaps like this, and it's using your momentum to shift the weight of your rider backwards and forward ever so slightly to clear a gap like this. In a way, it's kind of like a partial bunny hop. You're not leaning all the way backwards like you would with a bunny hop, but you lean just a little bit backwards and then lean forward, and do that. If you do that very quickly, while you're riding off the top end of the first platform, you will get the momentum and kind of this fluent motion, what we term as squishy. The last technique is stationary bunny hop, and this ninja technique is by far the hardest one to master, and it is not something I will be able to fully explain in this video. Maybe I'll do a follow-up video to explain it a little better, but just to describe it a little bit, a stationary bunny hop is being able to do consecutive bunny hops while staying stationary, or staying in the same position, so not moving forward or backwards, but staying kind of in the same position, being able to do bunny hops over and over. And you'll see this majority of the time in back wheel tracks, but briefly kind of how to do this, or 3 steps that might help. And like I said, I'll need a whole nother video to be able to explain this fully, but 3 brief techniques that might help is step 1, learn how to balance on your back wheel well. Once you're able to do that, it will open up a lot of opportunities, not just with stationaries, but with a lot of other ninja techniques. Once you're able to balance on your back wheel, step 2 would be learning how to do just a single bunny hop from your back wheel, and try not to go too far forward or too far backwards. And to do this, you would get onto your back wheel, balance there, hold brake and lean backwards, and then tap throttle or gas and lean forward. And once you get some practice, you'll be able to do this just in one position. And once you're able to do it once, obviously start slow and just get 1 down, but once you're able to do it once, it will just take practice to be able to link them together and continually loop over stationary bunny hops. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully this video will help. I know that these techniques each could individually have their own videos, and maybe I'll do that in the future to describe them a little bit better, but hopefully this will be a good starting point to get you understanding at least the terminology and understanding the basics of what the techniques are and kind of how to start learning them. With that said, it would be awesome to do more videos describing these further, and maybe I'll stream as well, so that you guys can ask questions and I can go into details on how to work on some of these techniques. So thanks for watching. See you guys later.